Hello there, English speakers. Welcome to the snow, except, well, on the bike road, which is very well maintained here in Linköping. And you got to see a dog. Our dog is still recovering from the operation. She will love this snow. So, do you drink too much or do you eat too much crap and you need to get your liver in order? We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about small little interesting stuff. But let's start by taking a big deep breath. So, your liver is constantly rebuilding itself, and that's a good way so that it can get rid of all the poisons that it has in it. So what do you need? You actually need meat, fish, eggs, organ meats, and roe or caviar. So this is basically the things that your liver consists of. So if you just eat this stuff, your liver can rebuild itself and you don't have to die. Especially good if you drink too much beer, like some people do, I've heard. Oh. Now we're getting into way too much people everywhere. Other things that are good are onion, garlic and greens. Not as good as eating liver and stuff. Liver is very good for the liver, at least if you don't eat way too much, which is hard to do. You can also eat something called NAC, which helps the liver to build the antioxidants, which it should be able to do if you just eat well and don't eat crap food. Be careful with caviar or roe. It contains rapeseed oil. I mean, just listen to the name, rapeseed oil. Do you want to get raped of this oil? Don't eat seed oils. But there are some caviars that don't contain any added seed oil. So search for them. They are very expensive, but you don't need to eat much of them to get your omega-3s and all this other goody stuff that eggs contain, generally, fish or not. I ate heart from a pig yesterday, and it tasted garlic, onions, tomato and a lot of curry. So that worked. The problem is that the texture is a little bit to chew on, to say it. Maybe I should have cooked it for a longer time, but it was a cheap heart, and now I'm filled with love or something like that. Charles Flynn, the brother of General Flynn, has been given the command of the army in the Pacific Ocean. Is that something Joe Biden's administration would do? That just seems strange. I've talked about this messaging app, signal.org. Polybites, who works for Russia Today, which is Russian state media, talked about where Signal comes from, and it's CIA who have a lot of fingers in that game. This is not really that strange. They have fingers in everything with cryptography. So I would still trust Signal, well, as much as anything else. It's open source, so you can actually go in and see if there are some criminal CIA elements in it, which I don't think there are. CIA probably just did something good for once. They do everything, so of course they sometimes accidentally do something good. I have two followers, friends, that have been banned from YouTube and from Facebook, so they keep on doing this, the big tech monsters. Google didn't like their friends in Robinhood that protects the rich against you, so Google simply removed the negative reviews of the Robinhood app, and YouTube is not, what should I say, they are also removing the dislikes on the White House. So why? And the Robinhood, by the way, they said they would allow stock buying, but now you can only buy one stock of a huge amount of stocks. So people are speculating that there might be something really bad in their system, and that Robinhood itself might be hurt by these stocks going up. Hungary have now joined Poland, and they will censor the censors. So they will demand that Google and Facebook and so on don't remove legal posts that aren't harassments or anything like that. So we'll see if they succeed, but we can't have a working democracy when these tech giants basically tells us what's right or wrong. Please go to Rumble, BitChute and Minds to follow me. In Arizona they are having a Mexican standoff, so the Senate has said now we are going to do a deep dive audit, and we are hiring our own firm to do this. And the local officials say, yeah, we will do everything you say, and then don't do it. So that's the status there. I think it's interesting to follow, just to see how this will play out in many other places when it comes to how very corrupt officials are defending their corruption. In Australia and New Zealand, they plan to not open anything. They just lock them up away from the world in 2 years more time. Because this is how brainwashing works. You start to convince people that, oh yeah, wear a mask, and then wear a mask during sex, and then you need 5 masks, and then you need 4 different vaccines, of course. So they will never stop. And when COVID goes away in the summer, they will of course demand even stricter rules, shut down all small businesses, be totally dependent on the big tech giants, and on and on and on. These people need to be punished and hurt. Not physically, of course, I don't condemn that, but they need to pay the price for destroying society, and they will never ever stop doing that unless they feel the pain themselves. They want you to suffer and be as afraid as they are. Here our opposition leader, or other opposition leader for the Swedish Democrats, is a proponent of the vaccine. So apparently he took a fast course and listened to Dr. Chewy explaining exactly how this virus works like, and now he knows exactly about all of his followers' medical problems and so on, so he can give good advice. Or is he just very, very stupid? He could say, take your vitamin D and get enough zinc. That would be smart. In Finland, only 6.9% of the population has a vitamin D deficiency, so almost 7%. Compare that to the Danes, where 51% have a vitamin D deficiency and 75% in France. So this, of course, totally explains why some countries are hit way worse than Finland. If you don't want to buy a mug, which I do recommend, even though it's pretty expensive, but good and simple advice for stuff that you can actually buy simple in the shop or on the internet very simply. If you want some more advices about drugs and having some doctors talk about it, I linked to a complete treatment protocol here from yet another place that I find agreeable on. And with that we say goodbye here from a snowy Sweden, and it seems to look like this in big parts of Europe. I just got images from Ukraine where it looks pretty much the same. So except for that it's cold on my camera hand, it's not that cold otherwise, and it's really refreshing and nice. And with that, I hope you can rebuild your liver, even if you are sometimes eating or drinking some crap. Get your real food and add some vegetables on top of that maybe. But first of all, stay away from the sugar and seed oils. And then you will be fresh enough to be here tomorrow too. And happy Saturday, and see you Sunday.